Hello my friends, today I am going to explain you about organizational behavior modification. This program is very much useful for anyone who is working as an HR professional or as an OB professional. As the name suggests, this program would help you to change or modify certain behavior of certain set of employees or group of people in your organization to make them behave the way an organization wants them to behave. This program is also known as a reinforcement program. Let us look at the definition before we really jump into the module. So, according to Stephen Robbins, OB modification is a program where managers identify performance related employee behaviors and then implement an intervention strategy to strengthen desirable behavior and weaken the undesirable behavior of an employee. So, this is what Stephen Robbins has mentioned about organizational behavior modification. So, a manager or an HR professional will observe certain set of behaviors for an employee, and then when they feel this is affecting either the goals of the organization or the task performance of the team, they would prepare a program and make a program in such a way that either that unwanted behavior is completely eliminated, or if the behavior is good and which is emphasizing, it may strengthen more and give an example for other employees to follow that kind of behavior. So, let us look into what is reinforcement. As the reinforcement itself suggests, reinforcing certain type of things that we want or the behavior that we want from the employees. So, reinforcement theory, so as by B.K. Skinner, suggests there are 4 ways of reinforcement ideally we could do. One is positive reinforcement. So, positive reinforcement is to enhance certain kind of behavior and give them certain set of bonuses, certain set of appreciation in front of the staff, or rewards or recognition that helps an employee to repeat those behavior again and again. So, that is of more of strengthening certain kind of behavior. If we want to strengthen certain kind of behavior in our employees, we will be using positive reinforcement. The other is negative reinforcement. What does negative reinforcement does? That it eliminates, or it is a very thin line difference between negative reinforcement and punishment. In negative reinforcement, the repercussions or the outcome is not so harsh for an employee. So, let us take this example that an employee is supposed to be promoted, but because of a certain behavior the promotion has been withheld. So, that is a negative reinforcement. Unless and until an employee is not changing that kind of behavior, then that employee would not get promoted. That is a negative reinforcement. Now, that's let us come to the third one. Third one is punishment. Punishment is ideally given to change or modify certain behavior. So, we have punishment for latecomers. Yeah. Maybe the half day salary has been deducted, 3 times late coming, half day, 5 times late coming, entire day salary. So, that is an punishment that an employee would get to eliminate the behavior of coming late in the organization. Fourth one is extinction. Extinction is completely eliminating, saying no to a certain behavior in the organization. So, extinction is no, it is zero tolerance of a certain behavior. So, any of our laws, a law that recently, or not recently, but law that has been very strictly being followed is sexual harassment. So, any such law that these kind of behaviors are zero tolerance in the organization are done through extinction way of doing it. So these are 4 reinforcement that an HR or OB consultant or a manager can put in with their employees or their team to either strengthen or weaken certain kind of behavior. So as an HR, if we go and look into all our policies, procedures, rules and regulations, they are all blend of these 4 kind of reinforcement. Anywhere when we are talking about promotions, reward, appreciation, vacations or holidays to an employee, they are all positive reinforcement. Wherever we are talking about withholding certain things, if this then this, then they are little bit of negative reinforcement. And any of our deductions, change of behavior, you have to come on time, you have to be there on the meeting on time. If you did not arrive on time, then you will be a certain points or certain note will be written down in your performance appraisal. That's a part of punishment. And any rules and regulation, laws that we implement in our policy procedure document, they are all extinction reinforcement. Yes. Let us now move forward. What are the various benefits, or why do we do this? Why do we really need behavior modification? These are few examples, but yes, you will find more in your organization and you could try to implement either of them related to positive, negative punishment or extinctions. So these behavior modifications can be used to reduce absenteeism, to improve task performance, for a healthy lifestyle of an employee. I was studying this article some time back that there was one organization somewhere in US has kept their parking area little away from the office, and they want all their employees to walk down to the office premises. And someone who has been continuously walking down for 1 month and any certain time frame that they have kept, they would be rewarded with an extra mile of points or performance points in their performance review. So this was a fantastic way of positive reinforcement for implementing a healthy lifestyle. Sales team to increase the sales figure. People those who are dealing with customer, any kind of reinforcement to help improve customer satisfaction for the employees. So these are various areas where behavior modifications can be used. Now let us move ahead for ABC model of behavior modification. So A stand for antecedents. These are the event that has happened before. Okay, before I really jump into ABC model. So we have our policies, process and rule book in our organization, which is a set of process, policies and rules that an employee have to follow. In spite of all those rules available in the rule book, it might arise a certain time that an employee or a group of people in an organization start suddenly they start behaving in a certain way that we feel there is a need to change this kind of behavior. So that is a time when everything is in place and suddenly there is a crisis or a need to modify a certain behavior. We will look into this ABC model of behavior modification. So in this ABC model of behavior modification, A stands for antecedents. Antecedents are incidents that has happened before that behavior has changed or before we see that behavior. B is again behavior and C is consequences. So once that behavior has developed, what are the consequences or what are the later events we see from an employee or group of employees that has changed suddenly. So let us take an example of A. An employee was doing all well in his first year in the organization, and after the first performance appraisal, suddenly the manager started feeling that employee starting withdrawing for all the work that I provide to that employee. The energy, the enthusiasm is missing somewhere. So that's the antecedents. Is the After the performance appraisal, there is a shift in the behavior. So second is behavior. Shift in the behavior is withdrawing from the task, or reduction in the enthusiasm that has been shown by an employee. And whenever a manager is giving a work, he would like, okay, I'll do it. That's less in energy for, or less enthusiasm to do that work. What are the consequences? The work started suffering. The employee did not deliver the work with 100% of task completion. So every time the work submitted by an employee, manager has to go back and tell to that employee to revise or rechange or relook into that work. So this was the consequences that a manager has seen in the behavior of after the behavior change of an employee. So in this case, this ABC model would allow us, or manager, or us as an HR and an OB professional, to dig deep into the root cause and then identify how do we change. So in this certain scenario, maybe the manager, if he is skilled or equipped enough, would go back and speak to the employee and understand what has happened, what dissatisfaction is there with him, and how can he help him to change his behavior and make him the previous enthusiastic employee. If the manager is not skilled enough to do it, or not equipped or not authorized to do it, would seek help of in HR in the organization, or an OB expert in the organization. So this was what we talked about, ABC model of behavior model. That's it from my side today. Thank you so much. Bye bye.